disappointed. It's we can't concede 2 goals and be up 2-0, and it's a tale of two halves. Thought we were really good in the first half, and thought again in the second half as they continue to push numbers and kind of move into our half. We don't we don't handle that pressure, so it's going to give us things to grow and learn from, and kind of take a break here. And sort of regroup, refresh everybody. But with that said, I think it's also important that we reflect back on what the month looked like. That was our 9th game in the month. Proud of the group, the way they competed. Proud of the group, the way they were able to grind out results, both not only in MLS play, but in the U.S. Open Cup. And really proud of the contributions across the board by a lot of players. So a lot to be proud of, but not satisfied, a bit hungry that we want more, and we'll return back improved.
BJ, did you get an explanation or a look at in the 60th minute when Hani Mukhtar had his shot and it looked like it maybe cleared the line but was not ruled a goal?
No, I mean the only explanation I got was obviously I think from our vantage point being 70 yards away, it's hard for us to tell yes or no, and they said check complete. That was the information I was given.
And I guess going from 9 games in the span of a month where you go unbeaten in those games to going into a month where you only play 2 games on the schedule, do you worry at all that maybe that break can maybe interrupt kind of the good form you can be in? And I guess maybe if so, how do you avoid that?
No, I think the rest will be good right here in the early part of this week. And again, I think we're committed. We're a group that's committed to sort of growing and learning. We know we're not a finished product. We know there's a lot of season left, and we're gonna use the time in June to really focus on ourselves and improve ourselves. We have things that need to get cleaned up, and as a group, I think we're hungry to do that.
BJ, obviously, you already told us that you're disappointed about the result of the game, because it seems like for most part of the game, Nashville had everything under control. What part of that disappointment is the one that you say, well, that's the learning part that we probably have to overcome in order not to lose games like this? Because pretty much it seems like a loss, at least in my opinion, because you had it like under control most minutes in the whole game.
Yeah, I think it's just sort of having that discipline to keep the scoreline, and not exposing ourselves. So I think for us it's just about improving that and building that and building our discipline both with the ball and without the ball. I think both ways are good to keep a winning scoreline. So again, we'll go back, we'll look at it. And it's not just this game. We'll look at the next couple games, the past couple games, and figure out the areas that we want to improve, the phases of play we want to grow with, and we'll get back to work.
And on the other hand, when you see a guy like Matthew Corcoran having such a complete game on an MLS game, he didn't look like any younger than anybody else, probably just as experienced. What's the feeling inside you as a coach for a performance like that?
Yeah, I think we started this season saying that we were going to play young players, and I think we're doing what we say. I thought he had a really good performance today. It's a performance that he's earned with the way he's been training, the way that he competed in the Orlando game, and for me, it gives us great excitement. Again, we can focus all the time on the short term, and that's what we do. But when you zoom back out and you sort of look at what this month did and where this can go, I think there's a lot of bright spots, and Matt's part of that.
BJ, when you went from a traditional 4 at the back and then trying to hold that 2-1 lead, and you go to a 5 at the back, subbing in Wyatt, I guess my question is when it comes to center back selection, where is Jason Palacios on that spectrum? Because he had a really good month of May. I was just curious what came to the decision factor between Wyatt and Jason.
Yeah, no, we've got tons of confidence in Jason. Obviously, he had put a couple shifts in, and for us, it was a little bit like we also wanted to get on the ball, and Wyatt can almost perform a little bit more as an attacking sort of piece there. So that was just nothing there except maybe just trying to, again, when we get the ball, getting an extra attacking number in there to kind of use it to hold the lead.
And then I guess first goal that you guys conceded from New York. It was like a lot of tiki-taka passes in between the middle of the attacking third for them and your defense. I guess where did it all go wrong for your side when it came to that? I know it's kind of quick to react to all that, but
no, I just think for us it's just about being disciplined and having our structure, right? We're not going to make reactions to individual goals. It's just, are we doing what we want to do? We're a team that wants to deny central passes. So for us, it's just getting back to doing what we do.
BJ, I'm trying to think of a less kind of generic or cliched way to word this, but just looking at the second half, we've seen you guys come out of the second half with kind of more intensity in the past, and in this it felt like maybe it was flipped a little bit. Do you feel like in any way that you let your foot off the gas, or do you feel like it was more just the way that New York came out and approached the second 45?
No, I mean I don't pinpoint that like we came out with a lack of intensity. I think a lot of it has to do with New York pushing a lot of numbers there, pushing us back, and again I think our discipline with and without the ball needed to improve. And again, I think that'll be an area that we can grow from.
And then I know that you talk about wanting to see like more of a collective view of this team. And I know there are 11 guys on the field, but it does feel like Connie and Sam, especially in the last few games, have really developed an important connection in the final third. How important do you think that is, not just from a team perspective, but from two guys who do kind of have a significant importance just because of their roster designations?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both in really good form, and you can see, I think as we talk about everybody making an impact on this team, they're able to do that not only by scoring goals and setting each other up, setting teammates up, but also with the work that they're doing off the ball. So again, when we look at the whole month of May and the shift that those two guys put in, nothing but proud of them.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, first, I didn't really know those were assists. I didn't know that counted until after the game. But I thought the first half we did well. Obviously, very disappointed, to give up a 2-0 lead at home. I think it's disappointing to end May in that way, but we know it's been a long month, and proud of the team, proud of the guys for the shift they put in this May, but obviously disappointed with the result.
Yeah, Matthew, I guess, you guys have had a pretty strong month of May, obviously going unbeaten in 9 games, I guess, and now with only 2 games coming up in June, how do you guys as a team try to stay in form, knowing that you kind of have a much different rhythm with your schedule?
Yeah, I think that just is in the environment of training every day. We're a competitive team. Our trainings are very high level and just pushing each other every day to stay game sharp.
And I guess what maybe was working, in attack in the first half that maybe seemed to change after halftime?
I think in the first half we were just able to find and execute a little sharper. They were making it difficult in the second half as well, creating overloads. I think we got a little tired, kind of got a little just caught in the flow of the game. But I guess just good. It was kind of just sharper actions.
Matthew, does it seem to you that you guys have more opportunities to perhaps put the game away earlier in the first half?
Yeah, we definitely had some opportunities I think we could have taken. Just sometimes they don't go your way, but the important thing is that we're creating those.
Now, when you come out and talk to yourself about the kind of performance you have tonight, how do you feel about it? What do you tell yourself about it?
Yeah, I thought I performed well today. I won't lie, I kind of just, when the game ends like that, it kind of just takes the sting away from everything. So, not really focus on how I did, just how we can learn how to close out these games.
Matthew, BJ's talked about just growth and relying on younger guys and playing younger guys this season. I guess for you, where have you seen the most growth in your game under BJ? And I guess what qualities have you've taken from the U20s to BJ's system as well and adapted with the team here? Right.
I think just with Nashville, it's understanding our system and understanding where decisions need to be made. It's a little different than with the 20 just because the system and formation is a little different, but just knowing what spaces I need to be in, where to operate, and where to pick out passes.
And kind of, I guess, reiterating that a little bit, everybody a part of this team in Austria has talked about film and how much dissecting it has been a vital part of growing with this BJ Callaghan system. For you with film, are you a visual learner type guy, and does that really help you going forward? Or are you more of a guy on the field that has to learn?
Yeah, no, film, I think it helps any player, just because you can see the view of the whole pitch. So definitely those meetings we have, the individual meetings to go over film, see how we can exploit teams, where we need to try and beat them. It definitely helps.
We are going to transition onto the Zoom then, right?
Yeah, Matt. I'm curious that the first goal for Sam, where you played the ball over the top to Hani, we've seen pretty similar runs and that same kind of pattern of play before. Is that a specific pattern that you guys have worked on, or is that more just kind of reading it in the minute?
Yeah, I think it's just I had time on ball facing forward, and BJ preaches it a lot. Is if you have a player that's facing forward, just running behind. And Hani is someone who's talked to me a lot about those passes to look for them because he has a very quick and sharp move. It's kind of a different type of running behind. So he talked to me about it before, and I saw it, so it worked out.
And then we saw you and Eddie just kind of both, I mean, the way that we've seen from all Nashville midfielders this year, just getting forward and back and really putting in an important defensive shift. What was that like for you tonight against a team that does create a lot of chances?
Yeah, honestly, it was quite difficult. I think our offensive compactness could have been a little bit cleaner. We gave them some space sometimes that created some big transitions for us, but they created some good problems for us, and it's just about digging in, just getting back, putting in the work.